guys, for today's video, I'm going to be doing stamp art. I saw Mira Byler do this and it looked really fun and she gave a lot of really good instructions on how to do it. So I'm hoping I can do this. I have purchased this very heavy box of all of my stamp materials. I don't know how to use any of them. I'm hoping that I can figure this out though with you guys. Let's get started with the stamp art. Okay, so here we have my box of supplies that I ordered on Amazon. This is allegedly a beginner's box to stamp art. Basic supplies. I don't know what any of them are. This is a roly thing and I thought it felt like a good massage. All right, stop doing that. Put that down. Okay. I had this piece of plastic. Get rid of that because I don't know what that is. From what I saw, this is the tool used to carve the stamps. Here are the actual stamping things. Don't know the real name for those. They're actually quite heavy, much heavier than you would think. I dropped them because they were so heavy. It's time to open the Lionel Messer set. Don't know if I'm saying that right. Of course, every time I try to open something, just gives me an issue. There are directions on the back, but they're in a different language. Oh my gosh, the little wooden dowel. I didn't know what it was for, but the picture showed me. You're supposed to put it in the bottom. Well, these instructions came just a little too late. Here are the carving tool heads plus the wooden dowel that I did not know how to use. And here is the stamp of choice. I chose the green one. I have to take it out of the package, which also gave me issues. Packages don't like me. Look at that. Get out of the plastic, sir.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. Fancy.
What? It's soft, okay? Neat. Aww. And now I'm taking out my magical pencil. Just kidding, it's a regular pencil. Sorry. If you don't know what stamp art is, I feel like I probably should have explained that at this point. Basically, you take this metal knife tool and you carve into the stamp and create patterns and pictures. Within the first 10 seconds of starting this project, I have exactly, well, 5 complaints. Let me tell them to you. Number 1, the metal pieces that attach to this thing are too small. You can't carve a big area at once. There are different sizes, but it does take forever. For instance, I switched to this larger one and tried to carve a bigger area at once, and it did not work. Number 2, the knives are not sharp enough, and this might just be particular to my carving tool, but I found it took an enormous amount of force to actually carve this thing. Number 3 is my wrist hurt so bad by the end of this because of the amount of force that I had to use. 4th complaint is I didn't feel like I had a lot of control over where the knife was going. I almost cut my fingers several times, and the lack of control really made it impossible to put details really at all. My 5th and last complaint is that this takes too much time. If someone hadn't already done this well, like Mira Byler, if I hadn't seen someone else do this, I would have thought it was impossible. I personally do not enjoy crafts that take a long amount of time. I'm the type of person that likes to see progress quickly, and if I don't feel like my work is really making any progress, I get frustrated. No, we're not doing any of this. My approach to this flower was to carve an outline for each of the petals as well as the leaves, and then carve away the background as much as possible so that the flower is the part of the stamp that's sticking out and gets the most paint. To make things a little quicker, I used a scissor to cut off that part of the stamp. Once I had the background carved out, I did add some details to the petals, but nothing too crazy, just some lines, really. When I finished carving, I cleaned up all of the shavings. This is how much I had. I kind of like it. And this is what the stamp looked like after everything had been carved and was ready for some paint. I took out some parchment paper. I don't know if this is the right thing to use, but this is just what I had. I used some Dollar Tree paint. Put it on the parchment paper and used the roly thingy to roll out a section of paint with enough space for the stamp. I put the stamp down and kind of like hit it around and made sure I got every single crevice of that stamp covered in paint, peeled it off, and then placed it onto my sketchbook. and hoped to God that it would come out with a good-looking stamp. After really pressing it down with my hands, I don't have the same tool that Mira has, I peeled it off, and I don't know, didn't really get full coverage, but I do like the general shape of the flower. This time I tried to add more paint, but I took out this green paint. This was a huge mistake because I hate that color and it did not mix well with the pink at all. Sometimes I watch these back and I just go, Marissa, what the heck were you thinking? And this is definitely one of those times. What was I thinking? That looks so bad. I know it's gonna look bad.
Yep.
I hate it. Cleaning that mess off, and we're gonna try again. So this time I thought, you know what, let me paint it on each of the petals individually. I used that yellow color because I like it more. And I said, let's stamp it down. Peeled it off. Thought, maybe that's too much paint. Let me put it down again. Peeled it off. I don't know, guys. Much respect to anyone that really likes doing stamp art. I am, so far, just not really a fan of it. But let's try the next one. I took out a yellow stamp, which matches the background, kind of. So it kind of blends in. Sorry. I decided to make a rainbow. I know, it's quite a basic choice to choose a rainbow, but I like rainbows, and I also felt like the flower was a lot more complex and harder to make than I anticipated. So I thought, let's do something a little simpler and try to see if I can get anything to look good. I tried really hard to make neat and even lines, but I honestly think it might be impossible. For me, specifically. Here's the final stamp when I was done carving. I took out my brand new neon paints and my parchment paper. I decided to use the paintbrush because I wanted to get the rainbow order and I felt like I couldn't get that with the roly thing. Brace yourself, I'm about to make a tragic mistake. I put white clouds, and if we recall, I stamped this onto a white sketchbook. So of course you're not gonna see white on white. That was dumb. I think I was just at a level of frustration that I rarely experience. I tried putting it back in and trying not to get the white on it, stamped it again, and I don't know, guys. That's the best I can do. I guess I'm just doing it wrong. But you know what? That's okay. I don't have to like everything. I don't have to be good at everything. I'm certainly terrible at this, but now I know that I don't like stamp art. If I didn't try it, I would have never known that I hated this. So, I guess that is a positive twist to this terrible experience. At this point in the video, I just wanted to make anything that looked good. So I made an even smaller stamp, and I said, you know what? Let's just make a heart with an arrow shooting through it. How hard could it be? They said. It should come out fine, they said. You'll notice that this shot has both of my hands in it. That's because my sister Alina actually helped me out with this shot and was holding the camera for me while I was carving. She could tell I was getting frustrated, so she said, "You want me to help you with anything?" Thanks, Lena. Rather than spend all of that time carving the background out, I decided to cheat a little and use my scissor to cut the stamp out. And here's what the stamp looks like when it's totally carved. I'd like to give my final parting words on stamp art. I do think my stamps were bad. They were bad. I think we can all agree on that. Yes. But I don't think they were nearly as bad as I was saying. I mean, well, that one looks pretty bad, but nope, those are bad too. I don't know, guys. Well, you know what? At least I can say I tried it, I gave it my best shot, and maybe it's just not for me. But you know what? This stamp actually did come out good. Look at this. That's probably my best one. That's called improvement, guys. Yeah, I actually like the heart with the shooting arrow through it. Wow. And here are all 3 of the stamps that I did this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know that this is not my typical video and it was quite a bit of a mess, but I think it was probably worth it, maybe. At the very least, I know I hate stamps now, you know? If you guys want to check out my other videos, I have playlists right there. You're allowed to watch those now. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.